Yes, people, welcome back to another stream, man. We got a Bombazzo! Bombazzo! David Ornstein, breaking news, people. Manchester City are expected to submit an offer to West Ham for Declan Rice today, and have serious interest in signing the England international. See what else is happening, man. Let's see what's happening. Oh, we got some more news on this. Manchester City want to offer 75 million in 2 installments plus 15 million pound in add-ons, which are thought to be realistically achievable for Declan Rice. Nathan Gissing says Man City also want to pay the 2 installments over a 2-year period. Okay, right. So, yeah, so 2 installments, 2 years. So, you know, whatever that splits up as. But yeah, guys, big Bombazzo today. This is a crazy situation. Manchester City are expected to submit an offer for the West Ham Declan Rice. I can't believe this, to be honest with you guys. I can't believe it. Like, in my head, yeah, I never thought we would sign this guy. Not because, like, I just didn't think that we really wanted him. Fucking hell, says LB, is this legit? Well, it's David Ornstein. David Ornstein is we would say, is a very good source, right? We would say that's a good source. And therefore, we would have to say that, yeah, I mean, this is obviously legit. Now, of course, is this offer going to get accepted? Now, if you remember, people will say, LB, they're not going to accept that. They rejected the same offer from Arsenal. Wrong. They accepted the same offer from they rejected the same offer from Arsenal, but that £75 million was split over 4 or 5 years. Manchester City are doing it over 2 years. So this actually could get accepted. You never know. Now, I believe that it's probably going to get rejected and they'll probably want closer to 90 to 100 million quid. But if City are offering it over a 2-year period rather than a 5-year period, that's obviously better for West Ham. So maybe they might actually accept it. But this is a wild situation. I woke up this morning and I seen this all shit that's breaking. I was like, whoa, what's happening? What's happening? Now, I'm going to do a poll in the chat. I want to know, do you want Declan Rice at Man City? Because I think, like, there could be, I don't know what you guys are thinking on this one. Because for me, I can't lie, I don't really know about this deal. I've seen Declan Rice a lot. I've seen him for England. I've seen him for West Ham. And I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Is he good enough to be starting week in, week out for Manchester City? That's the question for me. And I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm not saying he is. I don't know. You know what I mean? And you got to remember, we're going from Gundogan here. You know what I mean? And I just don't know about it. I don't know. I hope he's good enough, man. I hope he's good enough. And he's only 24, which I guess is great news as well because he's got time to develop. But I'm not sure. And also, what does this mean for Calvin Phillips? Calvin Phillips was only speaking last week about the fact that he wanted to stay in that. He wanted to stay. Does this mean Calvin Phillips is done? Is Calvin Phillips finished? You know what I mean? What does this mean for Calvin Phillips? Is he going the other way? I mean, it doesn't suggest that he's going the other way in this news here that we've got from David Ornstein. It just says it's an open offer, 75 million quid. You know what I mean? There's nothing about the fact that Calvin Phillips will be going the other way. So what does this mean for Calvin Phillips? Is Calvin Phillips staying? Is Calvin Phillips going? You know what I mean? These are the questions, man. These are the questions. I'm not too sure what's going on here. But listen, Declan Rice, yeah. Let me talk to you about Declan Rice. Let's get his stats up. Let's see what he's talking about. We'll do the transfer mark standard stats first. Okay, let me zoom in so you guys can see this. You should be able to see that. Right, okay, so last year, 50 games, 5 goals, 4 assists. Now, I don't think that's too bad, really. Especially considering that 44 of those games he's played as a defensive midfielder. Now, this is obviously something that I think will be different. Now, I say it's going to be different. It all depends on the formation. If he's playing in a like-for-like position with Gundogan, that's where I'm a bit like, I don't know, because I don't know if he's got the attacking threat that Gundogan has, yeah? But Fab just tweeted, I'll come to that in a sec, guys. But if it's more of a defensive position, maybe like we change formation, we play 3 at the back, Rodri, Rice, and then the rest of the players forward, and Rice can just join the attack. That's where I think it could work. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's a very interesting signing. Let's see what's this guy saying. Fabrizio Romano. Manchester City have decided to bid for Declan Rice after calling West Ham last Friday to be informed. Manchester City also checked the player's side. Understand Rice is open to any move, so a deal depends on the clubs now. Arsenal planning to bid again since last week. Now, what this does tell me is that Declan Rice, in my view, has probably now said to Arsenal, hold up. Because, listen, this is where we're at, yeah? Arsenal rang Declan Rice and said, Declan Rice, would you be interested in coming to Arsenal? He said yes. So then Arsenal had then started bidding for West Ham's Declan Rice, which has so far been rejected from West Ham. Manchester City have then rang up Declan Rice and said, yo, Declan Rice, would you come to City? And he's obviously gone, yeah, I've come to City. Otherwise, we wouldn't be bidding for him, right? So in my view now, he's not rejected Arsenal, but I think he's temporarily put Arsenal on hold here and said, if City get me, I'm going City. Because otherwise, he would have rejected City and said, no, I'm not going you City, I'm going Arsenal. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, it don't make sense. So I think that Declan Rice is temporarily putting Arsenal on hold. Now, that doesn't mean he won't go to Arsenal. Doesn't mean that. It just means that right now, I think he said, if I can go to Manchester City, I'm going to Manchester City. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have agreed to go to City. He wouldn't have agreed to say to City, yeah, I'll go City. He would have turned around to TK, he would have turned around to Varane, Caldoon, whoever it is, or Pep and said, thank you very much for the interest. But I've said I'm going to Arsenal. I want to go Arsenal. And Arsenal, I know Arsenal are going to get this deal over the line. So I think that's temporarily on hold. And now City are probably in the driving seat here, guys. I think City are probably in the driving seat. So now it's just a case of, can City get this deal across the line? And you have to say, they will get the deal across the line. We've paid £100 million for Jack Grealish. You know what I mean? We will pay. If West Ham want 90 million or whatever, we will pay it. So I have to say now, based on all the facts that are presented in front of us, all the information that is right here, I have to say that I believe that right now for Declan Rice will end up a Manchester City player. I have to say that based on the current evidence. Joe says, with Gundogan gone, who do you think? Do you think Diaz will be captain? I would imagine so. Maybe Kevin De Bruyne. Walker's probably up there as well. You know they move mad with the captaincy in it, but I think it should be Diaz. Fraudson says, check Gundogan's stats before he came to City when he was a DM, a CDM like Rice. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously he played a little bit deeper, didn't he? And yeah, I guess that is true. You know, I just don't know what formation we're going to set up in. I don't know what formation we're going to set up in. You know what I'll do? I'll open a tactical pad and we can go through. Maybe a little formation driller and see what sort of formation we can potentially get here. So let me just load up. Let me load up tactical pad here. Store teams, 3 at the back. Manchester City. Right, here we go. Let me share this screen, guys. Where are you at? Window, tactical pad. There we go. So you guys should be able to see that now. So let's say, right, there's a couple of different formations that we could play, right? You got the, in fact, I need to just rapid team squad add a Declan Rice. Well, I can swap him. This is pain. I'm going to delete his name one by one because it's sad times. Gundogan. Oh, no, this is sad, guys. I deleted him from the roster, man. All right, there we go. Boom. So, formation number 1, yeah? You could go Edison here. Let me just, again, man. Let me just change this to black. Where's black? Where's black, man? Is that black? Yeah. There we go. That's better. Right, so you got him there. You got Diaz here. Stones here. Ake. Obviously, Ake could be Gvardiol. And then just put Walker in for argument's sake. This is squad option number 1, right? You got Rodri. Rice. This is kind of like, you know, the standard setup. Where's KDB? KDB, there he is. Right, this is sort of like option number 1. Grealish on the left, Foden on the right, and then Haaland up top. Right, that's sort of like one formation that you could potentially go with, right? But I don't know if I like that. Because the reason I don't know if I like that is because I don't know, because I've not seen enough of him. I don't know whether or not Rice is going to get enough goals and assists in this position compared to Ilkay Gundogan. That's my honest opinion. Right? However, let's say we go to a system like this. So you put him up there, Rodri there, Rice there, yeah. And then we have we've been off Walker. Stones goes to right-sided centre back. Diaz in the middle, and Ake or Gvardiol, right? Say that's Gvardiol or whatever, but it could be Ake. He deserves to start. So you got Edison, Ake, then in a 3, Grealish left, Foden right, Haaland, and then how would you do it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you got one more player. So you probably want, or unless you put Foden in, could you do this? Foden in the mid, Mahrez right wing. Could that be a thing? Let's just say that's a thing for now. I think that's better because then when we push up, right, and Grealish is out here, Mahrez is out here, Haaland's there, De Bruyne's here, Foden's there, Rodri's there, Rice is there, and these guys push up, yeah, like this, like majority of home games at the Etihad Stadium, right? Then I think Rice is in a more advanced position and De Bruyne can do what he wants to. I think that's probably a better system. I think that's probably a better system in my view than the 4-3-3. I think. What do you guys think of the chat? I'll do a poll in a minute. I'll come back to the other poll in a second. Let me just go through some of these super chats. It says, I'm not the biggest fan of Declan Rice, but after giving it much thought, who do we replace with Gundogan? We can't go get a Gabri Vega, which is young. I prefer Rice, but it's because of his experience in the Premier League. I'm sort of in that same sort of bracket of like, I'm not like one of these guys who's out here going, oh, Declan Rice, I think he's mega. Like, I think he's a good player, don't get me wrong. But like, at the same time, obviously, I've not seen that much of him. I've only seen him when he played for West Ham, like when I've watched West Ham and when he played for England. And whenever I've seen him for West Ham, I've tended to have seen him more in a defensive capacity. But that's not what we need. So then I'm like, well, okay, when have I ever seen him in an attacking position or attacking roles? I've not really seen him that much in those positions because whenever I've watched Declan Rice, he's usually been in a deeper role. That's why I'm a little bit skeptical. But I'm not saying it's the wrong move. I just don't know. LB, have you seen that video where Rice said he said he stay at West Ham? I've not seen that video, bro. I've not seen that video. And Farhad, I told you Arsenal bids were rejected for a reason. Well, this is the thing, obviously. What's going on now? I believe, yeah, that Declan Rice has told West Ham and maybe Arsenal that City is his priority now. Otherwise, is he doing like a? I bring it back to the Love Island game here. Is he bringing out the connections? Yeah, I'm getting to know you, but I'm also exploring other connections with them. You know what I mean? And then you know what happens though. The two connections start getting a little bit upset because they're a bit gutted. They want to have it all. They want to have it all, you know. Asgar, the reason is because it's a member chat, bro. It says it's not about what we think of Rice. Pep clearly had a plan of how he would use him in a system, same as Jack. City rarely miss guys. Trust him. Yeah. I'm backing the deal if we do go ahead and get him, bro. I'm backing the deal if we do go ahead and get him. I just don't know, innit? You know what I mean? What's happening here? What's happening? Who knows? Let me just get rid of that a second. But yeah, it's a bit of a madness. It's a bit of a madness. Not the Love Island, yeah, but I think the Love Island is a very, very good sort of thing, you know. I think it's a very good thing to sort of, it works. The analogy works. You know what I mean? Arsenal got in there first and was like, I want to explore a connection with Declan Rice. And Declan Rice was game to explore the connection. But then the bombshell, Manchester City and cheeky Begiristan, or whatever it's called, they bombshelled it and they walked in, boom, Declan Rice, head turned. And now he's like, I want a bit of that. I want to recouple, mate. He wants to recouple with Manchester City. That's what it appears to me. 3 holdings, then Rice will move to a box-to-box, says Canyo. Alan says, I'm so hyped if we get Rice. I watched a few games of him pushing up forward in a West Ham team and he will flourish at Manchester City till I die, from Alan. So I'm very confident now from Alan. This is the thing. I think I'm fair to say that the majority of people in this stream like Rice as a defensive player. So say Phillips gets moved on, yeah, and we get and Rodri's injured or whatever, and Declan Rice goes in and plays as a CDM position. I believe that 90% of people here would say, yeah, you know what, I'll take it. I'll take that. I think Declan Rice can do that. But that's not the question, because that's not what we're buying. We're buying a player who can play in a more advanced position. And that's where the question marks are, you know? That's where the question marks are. Now, at the beginning of the stream, we did a poll. Do you want Declan Rice at Manchester City? 75% of people, and it's just gone up to 76%, 76% of people say yes, they do want Declan Rice at Manchester City. And just under a quarter of people say they don't want Declan Rice at Manchester City. So the 24% of people that don't want Declan Rice at Manchester City, why? Why don't you want Declan Rice at Manchester City? What's the reason there? What's the reason there? Why don't we want him? Is it because we're not sure? Are we not sure on, is he going to be good enough in that offensive capacity? Because I'm an Arsenal fan, says Erin. Luciano says, Lewis, I feel like we can get better options for cheaper, i.e. Barella for Frankie de Jong. Okay, so you think it's a value thing. Okay, well, I guess that's a personal opinion. If you think Frankie de Jong is a better player in that position than Declan Rice, or you think Barella is a better option, then you've obviously got that option. The one thing that I would say, obviously, with Frankie de Jong is look at his wages. Look at his wages. Is he going to take a big pay cut? I mean, let me just quickly check Declan Rice, West Ham salary. He's on, let's see what he's on a week. He's on, according to Spot Track, he's on 60 grand a week. According to Spot Track. Yeah? Frankie de Jong salary. According to the internet, it says here he's on 720,000 euros a week, which seems high. But that's what it says, so I can only go off what it's saying. But yeah, but he's on, basically, cut a long story short, Frankie de Jong is on a lot more money than Declan Rice. And for Frankie de Jong to come to Manchester City, he would almost have to half his wage. Whereas Declan Rice, you could double his wage to 120, double it to 120, and it would still be less than what you'd be paying Frankie de Jong. So, you know, that lies the question there. Maybe it's a financial thing. Also, how much would Frankie de Jong be sold for? You know what I mean? That's a problem. Now, Barella could be a potential option, and I think that there is a chance that obviously he'll leave into Milan, but I've not seen no links to him. I'm not seeing no links. And I would also say, by the way, that Pep Guardiola has said to Tiki, Declan Rice is my man. Then I think we just have to back that. I think we just have to go along with it and say, well, if Declan Rice is the number one target for Pep Guardiola, which we believe it probably wasn't, it was probably Jude Bellingham. But if it is now the current situation, out of everyone that you can get now, if Declan Rice is the number one that Pep Guardiola wants, then I think as fans, we just have to say, all right, yeah, we have got to go with that. We have to just accept that, and that's well, not accept it, because obviously it's not like it's a bad thing, but you know what I mean. Like we have to back the move. We have to back Pep. We have to back Tiki, that they believe that Declan Rice is that guy. And I would just say, Declan Rice has done a very good job at West Ham. He's done a good job at England. He's led West Ham to a European trophy, and I'm not one of these snobs who's going to sit here and go, oh, it's only the Conference League. Nah, the Conference League. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that he has led West Ham United to a European trophy. That is unbelievable. So I think it's I think I'm starting to get a little bit gassed, people. I think I'm getting a little bit gassed, people. I need to find the other siren, man, because that one's a bit weird. It's a bit dead, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a nuke one. I don't really like it. First man's coming with a super chat. Thanks a lot for the donation, bro. It says Stones did so well. Pep's gone for a dedicated centre-back CDM pivot. Stones, Diaz, Gvardiol, Rice and Rodri is ridiculous. Rice and Rodri doing a centre-back CDM pivot, taking it in turns to go forward. Evolution on last year. That's from First Man. Well, I agree. I think that if we go to the tactical pad again, I think this is what we're going to do. I think if we get it up, I think this will probably be the system. Now you could swap. You could put Foden on the wing there and put Alvarez in the middle. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? We're not arguing about, oh, LB, he shouldn't be playing here. He should be playing. What we're talking about here is a potential system. The players can rotate in and out of the system. That's not what we're arguing about. I think this is probably the system. Ake will probably start here because I think he deserves to start the season in this position. But I think quite quickly we will probably see Josko Gvardiol enter this position. And I mean, look at that. I mean, the problem here is for Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker does not get in this team. Because where does he play? I mean, he could play here, but Stones is going to start there. And I believe that if Stones got injured, Pep Guardiola would probably want Akanji to go in there ahead of Walker. So he's probably like third in the pecking order. He's probably third in the pecking order if Pep wants to play that system. Now, of course, he might not want to play this system. He might want to play the 4-3-3 system that we did before. But that's where I worry about Rice. I think Rice in this situation, in this formation, I think it's a brilliant signing. I really, really do. I think if you go back to the other situation that we did before, where it's Ake, Diaz, Stones, Akanji or Walker, Rodri, Rice, De Bruyne, and we've got to put Foden over it. That's where I don't really like it. That's where I'm not a massive fan of it. But in the other situation, I do like it in the other one. I do. Big up to Zine Carl said 200 million on 2 players, not a City type move. Well, what I would say on that, Zine Carl, is what about if Kyle Walker stays, Riyad Mahrez stays, Bernardo Silva stays? What about if those 3 players stay? Then you only really need Gvardiol and Declan Rice. Because you don't need a right back because Walker's staying. You don't need a winger because you've got Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva and Foden. You don't need any strikers because you've got Haaland and Alvarez. You don't need any left wingers because, again, you've got Grealish and Foden and maybe Borges, rumours of him potentially signing a new contract. Attacking midfielder, you've got Kevin De Bruyne. You'll have Declan Rice. You'll have Phil Foden who can play in that position. You've got Kovacic who can play in that position. You've got McAtee who could potentially play in that position. CDM, you'll then have, of course, maybe we've still got Phillips, maybe we've not. You'll have Phillips, maybe not. Declan Rice and Rodri. And the defence is solid as well. So maybe the reason that they're going to go... I agree, it's not a typical City move. But maybe the reason that they're going to do this is because they maybe feel that we can do, because that's all we're buying. We're not buying anyone else. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that could be the thing. Big up to Condino says agreeing and not questioning any transfer. Big up Condino. Oh wait, sheep brain. Agreeing and not questioning any transfer is a sheep brain. I think he's saying if you don't question a transfer, you're a sheep. I agree. And big up, is it Sifi? Big up Sifi, is it? Big up Sifi, man, for becoming a YouTube channel member. I appreciate that. Hopefully I've said your name right there. So yeah, there we go. Did I do a poll before? What poll was I going to do before? Oh yeah, attacking. Do you have any concerns about Declan Rice in an attacking capacity? Yes, I worry about him going Right, there we go. No, I think he's good enough. Right, there we go. Right. There's a poll in the chat because, like I said before, I think we all agree that Declan Rice in a defensive capacity is more than capable of playing in this team. I think no problem. And he'd be an upgrade on what's he called? Calvin Phillips in that regard. My only concern is how good he is offensively. And the only reason I hold that concern is because I've not seen too much of him in that position. When I've seen him for West Ham, he's usually in defensive capacity doing a very good job. And I don't really see him too much going forward for England. And to be honest, I don't fucking watch England unless it's a tournament because it's just dead. I can't watch England in non-tournament football. So cast your vote now in the poll. There's over 900 people in the stream. Get your votes in. Make sure you drop a like on the stream as well while you're at it and subscribe to the channel as well if you're new, because we are closing in now on 78,000 subscribers, getting very close now to 80k. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. But yeah, cast your vote in the poll. Let me just have a quick look. While you guys are voting, I'm just going to have a quick look to see, is there anything else coming through on this? There we go. Manchester City do want Declan Rice, but this will be as a replacement for Ilkay Gundogan, who has not yet decided on his future. Man City are also would also explore offering Calvin Phillips as part of any deal for Rice, which would add its own complexities. Okay, that's from Sam Lees. That's another source. Let's have a look what else is going on here. David Ornstein, Manchester City are expected to submit an offer for West Ham Declan Rice today and have serious interest. Okay, is there anything else on Declan Rice? No, I think that's it on Declan Rice. I think that's it. So it all broke this morning with David Ornstein there, as you can see. Big statement that from David Ornstein coming out there. Let's have a look at the poll then, because you guys have had enough time to vote on this. We've got 1,000 people in the stream. We've had 400 votes. So if you've not had your votes, then nothing really I can do about that. Do you have any concerns about Declan Rice in an attacking capacity? 42% of people say, yes, I worry about him attacking. And 58% of people say, no, I think he's good enough. So there is still a large amount of people that are a bit worried, are a bit concerned about whether or not this guy is good enough to be in that attacking position. Because as you just read there a minute ago, this is a Gundogan replacement. This is not going to be a Calvin Phillips replacement. This is a player that is going to be playing in an attacking position, an attacking area. And that's for me the slight concerns. That's for me the slight concerns. Big up to where are we at here, man? I got so many tabs open here, guys. I've made a huge mistake here. Big up to King Haaland says, don't need to spend big on Rice, bring Lavia back. But King Haaland, we're looking for a Gundogan replacement, bro. That's the problem. We're looking for someone who can do a little bit of everything and get goals and assists. You know what I mean? And I don't think Lavia is the type of guy that's going to be placing balls in behind defenses and making plays. So that's the issue that you got with the Lavia. I think if you want Lavia would be a Calvin Phillips replacement. So you could buy Rice and he would be a Gundogan replacement. And then you'd have to get rid of Phillips, which actually might happen as part of this deal. We would have to wait and see. And then bring in Lavia as the Calvin Phillips replacement. But you can't bring in Lavia as the Gundogan replacement. That's the thing. And you know what? Really good point here. Really good point here from long-term viewer of the channel, Lewis. Big up, Lewis. Lavia will go to Arsenal if we get Rice. Now, what's quite interesting is in that the last 48 hours, 72 hours, something like that, last 2 or 3 days, what have we started seeing on social media? What rumours have we been seeing about? We've started to see that Arsenal are now making moves for Lavia. Now, apparently Chelsea are involved in that as well. They're keeping an eye on it. But as I've said before in the stream, I think what has happened here, is that Declan Rice has heard this from Manchester City, heard that the interest is serious, because it all makes sense, right? Because remember, like 2 days ago, we heard like, oh, City are interested in Declan Rice. And I was like, what? This makes no sense. Why are we interested in Declan Rice? Because remember me saying, I don't know when it was, man. It might have been yesterday. It might be the day before. It might be the day before that. I can't remember. It was the last few days. Because I was like, that's weird. Why are we hearing that Manchester City are interested in Declan Rice? That makes no sense. Arsenal are bidding for Declan Rice right now. So if City wanted him, why are we just interested in him? Why are we not bidding for him? It all makes sense now because I believe what has happened, right? I believe this is what's happened. Arsenal contacted Declan Rice, said, yeah, we want you. He said, I'll go, no problem. Arsenal started bidding for him, and this is where they've made the serious mistake because they fucked around and potentially got found out. City have gone, oh, Arsenal are going for Declan Rice. We like Declan Rice. What do we think? We've gone, we like him. Pep's gone, I like him. Tiki's gone, I like him. But then what we've done is we've then said, okay, we're interested, which is then where the journalists have picked this up a couple of days ago because they've obviously found out that Manchester City are interested. But because the reason we've not bid for him yet is because over the last couple of days, we've probably gone to Declan Rice and said, yo, Declan, we know that you've said yes to Arsenal. We said that you're happy to go there and that they're now negotiating with West Ham. We want to sign you for Manchester City. However, we only want to get involved in the bidding if you agree that you will come to us over Arsenal. He's probably thought, let me think about it. He's probably had a day or two to think about that while he's on holiday. He's probably come back to Manchester City last night or Friday or whatever it was and said, yo, if you get the deal over the line, I'm joining you over Arsenal. And that's why Manchester City have now been given the green light to go for Declan Rice. In the meantime, Arsenal have probably got wind of this and probably found out about this information that City are now in for Declan Rice and that apparently he said yes. And they've gone, shit, we now need to look at someone. Who else can we get? Lavia is possibly an option. Now, of course, that could all be complete BS and it could be six story time with LB. And that could be an award-winning book, an award-winning story. But it makes sense. It makes sense. I also think if you maybe start to see in the next day or two, Arsenal linked back with Caicedo, who, for all intents and purposes, looked like he was going to Chelsea, that could give us more evidence and more backup to the theory that they have now been beaten to this. But I've got to say, first of all, it's not over for Arsenal. Of course, they could just bid now for Rice and get that bid accepted and put Manchester City in a really awkward position. Yeah. But if they don't, and they do miss out on Declan Rice, make no mistake about this. This is the fault of Arsenal Football Club only. They knew the price. Declan Rice agreed to the deal, and they fucked around for over a week, bidding money that West Ham didn't want to accept. That's not how clubs move in this market. When you're going for a play like this, you got to go for it big. You got to go. You just go, yeah, you know what? We're getting this deal over the line. You don't fuck around, man. You don't fuck around. And I think they may have made a huge mistake there. Let's have a look. Says Crystal B says won't get Rice that price. Arsenal offered more. Correct, Crystal. But I don't know if you was in at the beginning of the stream. The difference is Manchester City have offered this £75 million over 2 years. Arsenal offered it over 4 or 5. Also, the £15 million add-on, which would take it to £90 million, is apparently rumoured to be very, very achievable. So it's effectively 90 million over 2 years, whereas Arsenal were offering maybe 90 million, maybe slightly less over 4 to 5 years. So it's, yes, you're right in saying the deal is the same and therefore it could get rejected, but apparently the structure of it is completely different and suits City much more than it does Arsenal. But we will have to see. You could be right, of course. Italian Stallion says, what is Declan Rice's stats for the last 2 seasons? I'll get it up on screen now, bro. So this is his stats. 50 appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists, 5 yellow cards in over 4,000 minutes played. And if you go to the season before that, let's have a look, bro. Let's have a look, bro. 50, is that exactly the same stats? Am I tripping here? 50 appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists, 11 yellow cards. Is that the same goals and assists as the season before? I'm not sure. Now, Felmo in the chat says, bad stats. Shadow says crap, garbage. Guys, he's playing as a DM. He's playing as a DM. Yeah? Not playing in an attacking position. So I think that's a little bit harsh, man. In my opinion, that is a little bit harsh in my view. Big up to Darcy says this is a good thing, no doubt. LB, embrace it. You know what, Darcy? I am actually getting excited about this now. I am actually getting a little bit excited about this. I think he's clearly a very good player. It would instantly improve our centre defensive midfield position in cover. I think Calvin Phillips will probably need to leave. And he's only 24. He's got plenty of time to develop. So, yeah, I think it's a great deal. And to be honest, the price, I think the price is looking all right. 75 million. 75 million for a guy who, let's have a look at his overall stats, has played 245 times for West Ham, 204 times Premier League, 42 games for England, has won a European trophy already. Zoom in. It's a bit weird when you zoom in on the right. It's difficult to show you guys, but I think actually the price is pretty decent, to be honest with you. Where we at here? King Ireland says, I want Neymar and Mbappe at City at all costs. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not going to happen. And Vazi says, I really don't think Rice is needed with Kov in now. I think we need to focus on Gvardiol and perhaps a winger too, like Sane. Rodri is him. That is all. That's all. I don't know, man. I don't know. Right, what you got to remember is, right, the difficulty is with this sort of comment, Vazi, is that we don't know whether or not we need him until we know what's happening with Bernardo Silva, until we know what's happening with Riyad Mahrez. We don't know. Because, brother, I'm telling you now, yeah, if Riyad Mahrez or Bernardo Silva leaves, or both of them, I think your opinion changes. Because then Phil Foden goes directly to a winger, has to be a winger, which means you've only got Kevin De Bruyne, Kovacic, and that's it. Is that it? That's it. Because there's no one else. Obviously, Foden can play there, but Foden's now a winger. So I think we do need him. I think we do need another midfielder, bro. Especially if Bernardo Silva leaves. So look, this is obviously interesting. I'll just give you the final poll now. 43% of people worry about him in a Declan Rice in an attacking capacity. 57% of people, yeah, are saying, nah, I think he's good enough. So there we go, man. It's certainly an interesting debate, I suppose. We'll have to see, innit? Dynamo Drillers Craig, sorry guys. Dynamo Drillers Craig with the super chat says, we have the Super Cup and Club World Cup. Our squad is small. We can increase by one, no problem. I agree, man. I agree. I think you're right. I think you're spot on, bro. I think you're absolutely spot on there, pal. We had that Club World Cup, yeah, which is in December. Obviously, it's only 2 games or 3 games or whatever, but still, you're still adding that. The team will want to kick on again. So, it is what it is, man. I think we just need to embrace it. Big up to Dave, says, why does Silva want to go to Saudi, ruining his career? Is this a thing, though? Apparently, he said, nah. I don't know if that's actually a thing that he wants, bro. I think this is just a thing that maybe isn't actually happening. So I wouldn't worry about that. I think if Bernardo Silva leaves, guys, I think he's going to go to PSG. I don't think he goes anywhere else. In my humble opinion, I don't think he goes anywhere else, man. So yeah, there we go. Big up to everyone. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Declan Rice, looks like it's happening, people. It looks like it is happening. And yeah, we'll have to see if it's going to be sick or not. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's going to be decent. I'm hoping it's going to work out. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Italian said, LB, you need to check up to Joe's stats on Kovacic. Yeah, I'll go off. I'll check that now, innit? My personal channel is now. I've got a video going live there now. This has an automatic redirect on it, guys. So if you've not already subscribed to the channel, then make sure you subscribe to my personal channel, innit? Try to get that up to 3K, man. So help a boy out. When this stream ends, it will show you a redirection. Click on that. Come over to it. And make sure you subscribe to LB's personal channel. It's LB. Big up Dave. Says reports coming out from Saudi are closing in on £130 million a year. Well, we'll see. At least we'll get some decent cash in it. But there we go. City potentially signing Declan Rice. Let's see what happens on it. Who knows whether this deal's going to happen. Make sure you smash a like on this one. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Come and make sure you join me now on my personal channel. I'll see you later.